I'm here today to talk about the winner's mindset. Very simply, because winners win. I'm Anthony Grosso, Green River Capital, and my journey into mortgages is probably unlike anyone else's. I started off as a police officer in 2007. Instantly had a couple of things on that job that I realized I did not want to be a police officer, but we were 2007, 2008, middle of a recession, not really the best time to be switching jobs. Plus, I just done a 6-month academy, so I wasn't looking to, go do that all over again. So fast forward to I got my real estate license. That's how I started kind of my journey into this, and eventually the mortgage license. But the one thing that's been consistent through all this is this winner's mindset, because I was surrounded in an industry in both in real estate and also as a cop that we have a great job. We had everything kind of set for us. I didn't have to push so hard. I didn't have to try to leave. It was, these police officers are 6-figure salaries, and at that point I was a 26-year-old kid saving up the right way and doing the right things. I didn't really need to do much else, but this was that mindset of wanting to grow. I wanted to do something better. So I'm no stranger to doing things people say I couldn't do. When I hit the 5-year mark is when I decided, I don't know if this is for me anymore. I just, midnight shifts, I had the real estate businesses, we were buying rental properties. I didn't have the bandwidth to really continue doing both, and we were getting stuck with overtime all the time. So it was 16-hour days. So I had the option to retire at 20 years. I'm at 5 years. I'm like, this is a long way to go, and you don't want to wake up every day rushing to be older, rushing to be retired. That's not really the way you want to live life. So I had to overcome a lot of voices when I started saying, you know what, I think I want to get out of here. I think I want to leave. And they're like, you can't leave. The benefits, the retirement, like you'd be crazy. And that's what I dealt with for 5 years. It took me almost 5 years to get myself, one, the rental properties and the backgrounds to have the financial means to do it, but then also to say, okay, I'm cutting the cord, I'm leaving this behind. But that was the mindset it took. And that was always looking at things, looking at what you like, what you don't like, and trying to perfect your day to day. So I had to overcome a lot of voices. And, we have changes in the real estate market right now. The way we've done things, forever has now been upended. I had my little challenges a couple of years ago when we went from refis every single day to, 10 and 20 a month to just none, just like that. Within the span of 3 months, I hadn't done, refis were over. I had no purchase business. I wasn't really in that. And then when that time came around, I didn't know if I wanted to. It's more work. It's less money because the margins got compressed. The rates are going up. It's more work to originate, less money, more moving parts, attorneys, 2 real estate agents and everything else that went on. So how you respond there determines where you go. So I could have just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to just wait for the next refi boom. But as you notice with the last one, with real estate, right at the very end, almost every single person was getting their real estate license. And why is that? Because it was easy. Everyone was selling houses. The market was up. So everyone jumped in, got their real estate license, and they took one deal from each of you. At some point, maybe 2, maybe 3. But how many of those, I'll just say 2020 to 2022 agents actually are going to hang around and make it through this cycle? They came in when it was easy. And that's how a lot goes. If you have that mindset of, I'm just going to do what's easy, it's not going to be that winner's mindset. So you really only lose when you stop trying. And for me, a little bit, I will not lie, I stopped. I was done. I was on a long run, changes at the office, changes with personnel. And I was like, I'm just going to hang back for a little bit and just see how this plays out. And one of the big things I learned is changes bring chances, right? I walked into the industry. This is how it was for us as realtors at that point. Like, this is how it's always been, buyer's agency. But changes bring chances. One letter difference, and it's a whole different meaning. So this market is tough, but this is exactly what we needed. Maybe not specifically this change, but in a way, I think it will benefit everybody, because the weaker agents are now, this is where they exit. It's no longer easy. It hasn't been easy getting offers accepted, getting listings to begin with. But now you throw in the fact that, now you got new forms to sign. You have to have these awkward conversations with buyers that you never had to have before. It was always like, yeah, I'll just show them around and then we'll do it all later. That's just, guilty of that myself. So now you're in a spot where you have to prove and show your worth. And why that's tough is because So tough for the weaker agents because they don't know what they're worth. They were just doing what the system was. And a lot of times people go, oh, this is easy money. Easy money is not what you want because easy money brings everybody in. Now that it's tough, you're going to see the ones who buckle down and say, all right, this is what it is. Listen, we're all going to complain. We're all going to be upset about it. There's nothing new there. That is all part of the process. But what happens after that determines if you are going to be that winner mindset or not. Are you going to just say, hey, that's it. I tried. This is too much for me. I'm not going to get anything accepted. Everyone's going to keep commissions to themselves. No one's going to share. Or you're going to be problem solving it. And that's where you're going to step up now. So I'm looking at this for everybody, especially on the realtor side, is an opportunity to grow. That change brings a chance to grow. On the mortgage side, I had my change. I was a refi heavy person, came into the industry as a realtor, then switched over to mortgages. I already had the client base. I refied all the people I sold houses to over 10 years. So for me, that was just as easy as it gets. They were the same people just calling me. And then when it changed, and there's no more refis and purchases slow down, now what do you do? So that's when I took my chance because I think we lost overall, hundreds of thousands of mortgage agents because they all jumped in when it was easy too on the refi boom. And now they left. So I'm still here. There's some other ones still here. The margins are all compressed. You're making a quarter of what you used to make and doing, double or triple the work. But this was the time to retool. I built systems. I put processes in place. I can do a loan. If you give me the boom we had before, for when I was doing 20 loans a month and running around like crazy, we can do 50 and keep the same consistent customer service that we've had because I took that downtime to look back at what did work, what didn't work, because the market always going to cycle, right? We're going to have our ups and downs. It's how you plan in the down part for the next up one. And that's what I looked at and said, hey, how can we just keep that service? Because that's the one thing I hated. I'm very customer service oriented as a cop, and all my clients, a lot of them are first responders. A big issue becomes you do one thing wrong one time, that will echo more than all the great things you've done for everybody. So for me, I'm very customer service heavy, and when we started getting crazy, it became a problem to be that personal, like, hey, I don't want to rush off the phone, but I have how many people calling me a day? So going into this market for you, I think the big thing you lean on now is teamwork. You need a team. This challenging enough. You're going to need an attorney. You're going to need a good lender. You're going to have to answer questions you've never had to answer before. And you're going to need someone who can back you up on that stuff as well. And someone who doesn't just do this as a job. One of the big things I always tell everyone is when I retired from policing because I was already set with other investments. I do mortgages now. I enjoy it. But at some point, I don't have to close a deal to pay some bills. And as weird as that may sound, it matters because I'm there to give out honest advice. And if I wouldn't do it for myself, I won't be recommending it to anybody else. Because if it's not something I could sleep at night with for me, then it's not going to be good for them. So that's kind of like the core of my business. But having lenders like that, having attorneys that work in the same way is going to be what makes you stand out. Because when you have a deal, it's not going to be about getting a deal after you've negotiated the commissions and got through that hurdle. Now it's about seeing it through and continuing to show your value. Because if people feel like, hey, those agents that just, I'll send you to an open house and tell me when you like it and I'll put an offer in, that's not going to fly anymore. And it was an easy way to do things. Granted, I had plenty of times that you walked into a nice, easy deal, but more often than not, we were walking into, that one deal covered the 10 others that shopped around for 6 months and then either didn't buy it or found it for sale by owner. And that's what no one ever realized the model was based. It's like, I just showed you the house and you negotiated the offer and then I did everything else, as opposed to they didn't see the value you put everywhere else. So now it's time to really hone in on your value. And relationships are going to be the new currency. Knowing you're a person who can get them into the house, can get their offer accepted when they're competing with others, can see the deal through with good resources and a good team, that's going to be everything. So action plans for what I'm thinking right now is, what are you going to do as a realtor? Wake up for your day. Hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to see my new direction be. This is the change. This is the change I want to make. This is the chance I want to take. So what are you doing in your day, right? So every day, if you did something, what can you do to guarantee your success? So what did you do before that no longer works because it's not relevant anymore? Or what did you always wish you could do, but that was kind of against the norm, so you didn't want to do things that way. This is your chance to look at everything through that lens, from initial contact to initial email. What do you think your best deals? Go back and look at your best deals, the smoothest deals you had. Look at those qualities and figure out, well, what did I do here that worked? And sometimes it's going to be people related, and you can't do everything. But let's just knock that probability up, right? If you know, like for me, if I know I take this certain type of loan, it's 20% of my income, but causes 80% of my headaches, I'm not taking those loans, or I'm offsetting those loans somewhere else. It's just not my strong point. It drains me. It's not energizing. And that's what you have to go. Look at your best deals. Look at your best listings. Look at your best buyers. How did this work? And that's where you go back and look at and say, all right, let me break this piece down from how you initially met them, your first phone call, your text message tone. I mean, you could go back. There's data in there. If you've done a couple deals, you have plenty of data to go back and look at. And that's what you really need to be doing right now. And like, where do you see issues and potential problems in how you used to do things and now how you have to do things? And that's the best part about all this, is it's new for everyone. It's not like you're just walking in here and you're the only one doing things different. It's different for everybody. So you have the opportunity to change things up a little bit. You try this version with this person, and then you're like, I don't know how I felt when I didn't like how I felt when I said that. So let me try this version with this person. And little by little, you'll fine tune, like, I take a little from here, and that's how I built my system. You take a little bit from the best, a little bit from the worst to learn from it, and you build your own system up. And I kind of want to drive home the idea that right now, and always really, but 100% will beat 99% every day of the week, because that consistency is key. If you say, hey, listen, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, now Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're doing it for a couple weeks. Something comes up on a Monday. All right, don't worry about it. I'll catch up on Wednesday. Something comes up on Wednesday. I don't know. I'll get it on Friday. And next thing you know, you see how easily you can slip. When you have 100%, I'm going to the gym every day, no matter what. I will be at that gym. That's when you're not going to have, there is no room for error. There's no room for you to get involved. You made a goal, you made a plan, and you're going to do it. And that 100% number is the difference between successful and not. That 99 to 100, that 1% is the difference. Because when you do those actions every single day, that consistency is going to be what you need. And that's what's going to make you stand out from someone who doesn't do it. Even if you don't do it, even if someone else does it better than you being consistent will win, hands down, over time, over and over again. So look back at your process. Hey, where can I fix this? Where can I grow? What steps could I take? Every single day I will do this. I will make 5 phone calls to old clients. I will work on 1 template for text messages that I think will go a long way. I will reach out to a home inspector or a realtor, a mortgage person, because relationships also in the industry are going to matter. When you have a name of someone who delivers, when your offer comes through again, it's going to matter even more than it did before, because there's no MLS at this point. There's everybody on their own, just making sure you protect yourself and you're covered. That's why relationships are going to matter. So go back and look at all your steps and say, hey, which ones are going to guarantee me? If I walk 10,000 steps a day, I know I'm going to be in better shape by a 6 month, by 1 year. But it's not 3 days a week. It's every single day. And that consistency will keep you there. So just kind of want to go this is different. It's changes. I think in some ways you can find your way to shine, and it's really never over until you stop, right? I mean, it's just, life is constantly a retooling. You don't really quit one thing. You just adapt it. You like this part of it. You try to do more things that you like, and then drop off the other ones that you don't. Like, life is to be made however you like, right? I mean, this, especially in a business like this, you can do whatever you like. You could choose to work with just buyers, just sellers, just foreclosures, just rentals. Whatever you do, just make sure it's what energizes you. So this is your time. Right now is the time, I think, for a lot of agents to either fizzle out or become a blockbuster or become a Netflix. This is your time. So any questions for any of this stuff, mortgage related, business process related? Like I said, my background as a realtor, I think, really helps in a lot of the conversations that I'm having recently. But any running a scenario, we have a very good team here. We will take care of you. And I said, we'll we'll have some stuff coming out on the blog, some videos. If you want to sign up, we'll probably have an email list going around soon. So you can kind of get more of these messages direct to you. But any questions you have, feel free to let us know.